Good evening and welcome to the Invictus Racing League's PlayStation Realistic Performance League, brought to you in partnership with GridFinder.com. I am Tim, back once again with my co-commentator, Malc. How are you doing today?
I am doing very well, Tim. I'm doing very well. How are you doing?
Ready to watch some action around the streets of Singapore? Almost wondering it's not a coincidence that Invictus Racing League visits this track on this week.
Oh, it's been absolutely insane, especially if you watched it from the F2 PlayStation platform as well, where there's been a rain condition at the end of that race. It was a mad race, to be fair. But yesterday in F3, so much battles galore, and I cannot wait for more in the Performance League, Tim.
Yeah, and of course, as we have been doing this season, it's going to be a 10-lap sprint race and then a 31-lap feature race. So the sprint race, we will be getting underway here in just a moment. We will update you on our point standings while we wait these drivers to, I guess how you say, finish up their strategies, their race strategies, figuring out just what they're going to do. Russman88 finds himself at the top spot with 76 points to Speed Queen 80's 72 points. And then 71 points belonging to Ginger Tiger, then Melanade and ARL 4th and 5th respectively in the standings. Down into Constructors, we have Race Ventura Wind Detectors with Smoke and Russman with 136 points to the Smooth Operators 119 points with Sab and Melanade. Of course, P3, neither fast nor furious with Daryl Whiffin and Joe Hamster. Then Bouncy Porpoising Drivers with Maddie and Ginger Tiger. And then Blue Flags 91 with Sir Spud and Speed Queen in 4th and 5th respectively. The team names this season are just beyond creative. I love it.
Beyond Crave, they're absolutely genius on that one, to be fair. And I still can't stop laughing on some of them, especially that not so fast, not so furious as well. So it's just insane. But that's what we love about the Performance League, because there's different drivers who are at different levels of the league itself. Like some drivers who are from the F1, some drivers from the F2, and some drivers from the F3. So it'll be interesting to see how these guys can try and push on at Singapore, because this track, even though it may feel like I feel like it's the longest track, even though it's only short, but especially when it's in wet conditions as well, I hope it's not going to happen tonight. But just reading some of the comments, actually. Hello to Spud, how you doing, mate? You alright? Hope you're going well. Keza, good evening to you, mate. It says, evening, everyone. Dry sprint race. So we're going to have a dry drive from the weather crew, a.k.a. Keza. Thank you so much for that, mate. So, I mean, from the perspective of the driving at Singapore, I'm not a big fan, because, well, unless some of the drivers who have made mistakes with the wing barrier itself, I'm not a big fan. But are you a big fan as well of the track?
Let's be honest, driving at Singapore is absolutely horrendous. I cannot stand
Okay.
it. It is awful. Anyone who says they like Singapore is just lying, and I fear for their sanity. Unless they won
Yeah.
the race, of course. I mean, it's easy to like a place when you win the race. Beyond that, though, I don't care if you say you like Singapore. I don't think you like Singapore.
Wait and see. We'll have to wait and see how everything goes. But we've got 15 seconds left. Our drivers are all set, ready to go. So, Tim, we go straight into the sprint race. There's no formation lap, straight to the sprint. So, good luck to all. So, Tim, all yours.
And of course, the sprint race, the finishing order of the sprint race will determine our starting lineup for the 31-lap feature race. We got the 5 red lights, then we have the no red lights about to go green for the 10-lap sprint. And here we go, Sir Spud and Tao, your top 2 now. Melanade getting into the second position there.
Whoa! Benedado, what a move! Tim,
And
that is a great move.
Oh, and now we got a Red Bull spinning around. Who is that dropping down? That is Tadeli. So Tadeli already down to 16th place. Might be dropping down to last. Melanade leads over Sir Spud and O. Steven, your top 3. Tal and Russman, your top 5 at the moment.
Yeah, so top 5 at the minute, but there's been carnage at the back. Keza had a 3-second penalty at least We've got virtual safety car. We have got a virtual safety car as things stand while the drivers, well, the debris is getting out of the track itself. But while we're watching the sprint itself, Tim, some of the drivers have gambled on the softs, where a majority of them have gone for the mediums. Do you think that's wise for some of them?
Well, I've noticed this season that the soft tires, they really do not give you as much of a benefit as you would expect. I mean, yeah, they are still the quicker tire, the grippier tire, but when it comes to the race, it's really hard to make them work unless you're on a strategy where you're just passing everybody who is on older tires than you. So honestly, I don't see the softs giving them that much of a benefit. That being said, I don't want to say they made the wrong choice, because these drivers know their cars better than I do, and they know what they can do in them better than I do. So Russman being up there in P5, maybe he feels like he can make up a few positions, and, you know, theoretically speaking, he's in prime position to do so because the 4 drivers ahead of him are on the medium compound tire. But I guess we'll see if he's going to be able to make those moves or not.
Yeah, we have to wait and see how everything plans out for these drivers. And we're back live and racing now. So Towel, I forgot to mention before we started, Tim, Towel will be driving his last race this evening. So let's hope he'll have a fantastic ending at the Singapore Grand Prix. So whatever happens tonight, Towel, you've been absolutely serving, and we hope to wish you come back into Invictus very soon as well. So at the top 4 at the minute, Manane, Suspud, O'Steven and Tao. But Suspud and O'Steven struggled. Oh, who's that? That's Russman. Russman making the move on 2 wide situation. 2 in the bed moment and made the move perfectly, Tim.
Yeah, and Russman using those soft tires like we were talking about, Malc, and I guess he's trying to make a liar out of me. I said that the softs aren't going to give you that much of an advantage. Well, apparently that does not apply if your name is Russman. Already up to P4 and closing quite quickly on O'Steven there in P3. Granted, they were already fairly close together and no benefit of DRS yet, but honestly, I think that makes the overtakes even more impressive.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's what you need, the need for speed itself. We've got the two Mercedes were having a good battle, and Saab trying to hold on in 9th, while Joe Amster and Tinnis are having a good battle for 10th and 11th, with Jin Tiger in 12th respectively. But Saab got himself a podium last night in the F3 League, so we'll have to watch out for him, see how he gets on as well. But there's pressure moments. It's pressure moments at Singapore, because once you hit the wall, that's it. Game over. Whatever happens, unless you got a safety car, we'll have to wait and see how everything goes. But Suspud did get the fastest lap for a brief moment till Russman with 1:43.286. Tim.
Lap 3 of 10 now, and Keza a 1:43.0, the fastest lap so far. And unfortunately for Keza, also seems to have a time penalty, so the fastest lap is not going to do all that much for them so far. So unfortunately, that is going to be what's likely a 5-second time penalty. Actually, I was going to say 3 seconds, but it's a 5-second time penalty for Keza down there in the 14th position. We're still watching the battle for 3rd now between O'Steven and Russman. And looks like Russman got a purple first sector that time, so perhaps no surprise to anybody that Haas car is one of the quickest on the track right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And while you was watching that, Speed Queen has got herself ahead of Nitrogash in 7th place, so Nitrogash and Saab close in 8th and 9th respectively. They all bunched up together. In the sprint race, because they don't want to make any silly mistakes at all. And they don't want to put under a lot of pressure, but the DRS should be active and try. But we're going to have a frantic DRS trains coming up soon, whatever happens tonight, Tim.
Yeah, and Russman's really struggling. You can already see that he cannot make moves around O'Steven like he wants to. He's right there on the back of the car, though. Let's see if he's going to be able to have a look on him going into turn number 1. He doesn't even have to wait. There is some contact, and Russman spins around, keeps it out of the wall, maybe. No wing damage, but Russman losing a lot of spots here.
Yeah, that's not good news for Russman. I did not see the contact or anything like that, because I was just watching Jin Tiger lost it at He lost it out of one of the corners, so he must have either lost the braking point. So it just depends on how he'll try and push on as well. But again, there's so much battles galore. We just don't know which one to pick. IRL getting close to Keza and Joe Amster in 10th and 11th respectively, Tim.
Yeah, we were taking a look at Sir Spud there in the second position, now down to Joe Hamster there in the McLaren in P10. Of course, those two Mercedes battling out ahead of them as well. So Sab and Tennis, you mentioned Sab got a podium recently. Of course, in the RP League, he won Bahrain from earlier in the season, so finds himself in P8 today in the sprint race. Of course, his car-allocated teammate of Tennis, the second driver in the field on those soft compound tires. Only a handful of them decided to go for the red compounded tires. It's actually Rustman, Speed Queen, Tennis, and it looks like Michael Smoke as well as JP. Now, of course, we saw what happened to Rustman, so Speed Queen 80 is the highest running driver on the soft compound tires, running in P6 at the moment. Tennis, who we're watching on our screen, in P9, cannot get around the other Mercedes of Sab for P8. And Joe Hamster right on the gearbox of Tennis, making it a little bit difficult as Tennis picks up a 3-second time.
Oh, Joe Hamster trying to make the move. He tried to make the move, but could not do anything about it at the main moment. We will catch up with the chat in a moment or two, guys. We'll catch up with the chat in a moment or two. Tyle's getting close to Stephen now in the top 3 as it stands, but Matty cannot catch up to the top 4, struggling for Speed Queen. Really catching up to Matty now in 5th, but there's so much battles galore in the mid-pack. You really do not want to lose out too much, Tim.
No, you really don't. In Singapore...
Oh! Sorry, Keza. Keza spun. Keza has spun at turn 1. I don't know if there was any contact, but he has dropped himself down to 14th place, Tim. So sorry about that.
So, Keza down to P14 once again, and is going to have a long ladder to climb when we get to the feature race, lap 5 of 10, so about halfway through the sprint race right now, as we see Matty overtaking Speed Queen 80 for the 5th position. So a good move there by the Williams driver. Looks like the Alfa Romeo of Nitro Gash might be making a move on Speed Queen 80 here soon as well. There's Nitro Gash just behind her. Speed Queen in the Aston Martin this week. But, you know, you were saying that you really can't mess about, Malc, and I'd say that that's correct because with Singapore, you really don't have a lot of overtaking opportunities. You've got the front straightaway with the DRS zone, and then you have got the DRS zone that's coming up on your screen just after this little turn here. So here's another DRS zone where you're going to be seeing some overtakes where Sab is right now, and you're going to actually see him try to defend against Joe Hamster, who does make the move on Tennis. Those are the only 2 DRS zones that we really have to work with, There is a second one, of course, going into, I believe it's turn 4. But in my personal opinion, it seems that the one going to turn 1 and then that last one are the 2 easiest ones to overtake. Not that you're not going to see any moves in the other one as well. But as you know, the DRS zones, they're so crucial to making those overtakes that you can't really afford to be starting outside the top 10 because you're going to be playing a lot of time just trying to make up your positions, and that's going to put a lot of wear on your tires.
Well, absolutely, and that's going to be the definite fact to make sure they trade and make a good decision on what they're going to try and do with the tyre wear. And they're going down the DRS. There was a couple of issues with yellow flag sectors 2 and 3. Dowell. Oh, actually, Speed Queen and Matty. Speed Queen, Matty, 2 in the bed moment. Goes side. Matty trying to save that ERS, but Speed Queen is not messing about and made the move perfectly. Just to recap on the yellow flags quickly. Yellow flags was from, I believe that was from Dowell and from Tonelli. No, sorry, not Tonelli. That was Sunboy. It was Sunboy just before the bridge section, Tim.
And, you know, if you notice, though, Speed Queen 80, she's got a line of cars just forming behind her. 3.8 seconds to Tao ahead of her in 4th position. Now, obviously, the Aston Martin is one of the slowest cars on the grid, but beyond that, I am starting to wonder if those soft tires are starting to give it the ghost. We have seen the soft tires wear down quite quickly this season, and even though Speed Queen 80 knows how to conserve tires, I just feel like, at the moment, she's holding up this line of cars because of the lack of grip.
Yeah, absolutely. But But she's done a really good job at the moment to try and get herself into the top 5, and now she can challenge to put the pressure on the top 4. It's going to be, she'll have to do quite a lot of a proper good, fastest laps itself. But so much battle from 5th place, Tim, from 5th place all the way down to 13th. That's how mad this race is. So any one of these can get into the top 10 to get a good start in where the position that they finish will be their starting grid for the actual race itself. And looks like Tao's trying to close the gap onto O'Stephen for 3rd, but cannot do anything about it. But at the moment, there have not been any issues with wing damages. But I was surprised because Spud had really damaged from wing out on the F3 yesterday. But at the moment, he's stabilised at the minute, but can he try and hold on? That's the big question. But Kes has moved up to 12th, and I believe someone else has moved up. I think it was Smoke, because some boys got himself into the pits.
Watching Tao give chase to O'Stephen just ahead of him. Lap 7 of 10, we're winding down to the end of this sprint race. Tao with the DRS, going to try to make a move on O'Stephen, but looking like he's a little bit too far back, can't get the job done, has to follow him back through the corner.
Oh no. While you're watching that, ARL has got himself ahead of Tinners. Oh no! ARL's out! ARL is out of the race! And we've got our first safety car of the evening, Tim.
Oh boy, it's lap 7 of 10, so I know that it's not going to end under safety car. So is that going to be a one-lap shootout?
It better will be. Well, what happened was, I didn't catch it fully, but I know Tinners and ARL were having a great battle, and just after that DRS section, I don't know if ARL tried to make the move or lost it completely and could not get the turning right, but we'll have to look at that in more detail from other perspective. But unfortunately for ARL, he is out of the race and will start at the back of the grid in the feature race too.
Well, it figures that the safety car had to rear its ugly head during this race right here at the end. So lap 8 of 10, and of course we are anticipating what will likely be a one-lap shootout, maybe a two-lap shootout, but we do have some stragglers there at the back, a few drivers going on the soft compound tires, and I guess you might as well see how they're going to perform, because most of these drivers started on the mediums, but this gives them an opportunity to see how the soft tires are going to perform for them under race conditions, especially if you weren't already in the points or in the top 10 rather. You might as well just go for the gamble.
Yeah, so unfortunately you go risk it for a biscuit. That's the old saying, risk it for a biscuit, and unfortunately that's what happened. But leave it to ARL, who's just joining the chat. It says he got tapped on the back, tried to, and then stopped. Oh, safety car's in this lap, Tim. Safety car is in this lap, so we're going to have 2 laps. Oh boy. So the drivers who have just pitted, they won't have enough time. I think, yeah, from Ginger Tiger all the way down to 19th, they ain't going to have a chance to catch up to these guys who are in the top 12. This is going to be quite interesting, Tim.
Well, it's called a motor race, Toto. We went car racing. Doesn't matter if the rest of the cars have caught up to the safety car queue or not, I guess. So let's go green for 2 laps around Singapore.
2 laps? 2 laps? This is going to be fantastic. 2 laps, Tim. Here we go. Menane needs to get a good start. Spud needs to watch out for that. Here we go. They're coming to the final few corners now. And they're off now, Tim. They are off. Spud needs to make the move because Stephen, oh my god, there's quite a few battles. Oh, so Stephen making the move. He's made the move ahead of Spud. And Speakery drops down at 5th. Keza drops down at 8th. Jarvis drops down at 10th. Oh my god, what is going on? And Speakery, trying to make the move on 4th place, but cannot do anything about it. They're going down the straight. Speakery with that soft tyre advantage will make the move into 4th. Unless Tao says otherwise. Oh my God! To the bed moment still. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. This has been brilliant racing, Tim.
Speed Queen 80 moves into 4th place. Tao down to 5th now. Speed Queen 80 with the sights set on Sir Spud up there in the 3rd position. This safety car really helped Speed Queen 80. Even though it was a very brief time that we were under the safety car, it gave the tires just enough time to cool down a little bit, not put as much wear and as much stress on them for the time that they were behind the safety car, so that she can attack these drivers and try to make up some positions. And we've seen that it has worked out for her so far, but now she is struggling once again to keep Tao behind her. So Tao in P5, Speed Queen 80 in P4. We'll see how she's able to hang on, but so far you do see that she is losing a little bit at the moment to Sir Spud.
Yeah, that's not good news for Speed Queen. She's trying to hold on. She's got one more lap after this, for the penultimate lap. Sorry, the last lap itself. And we have to wait and see how Tao can put the pressure on Speed Queen. And they're on the straights now. Tao needs to make this move as soon as possible, otherwise he's going to lose out so much to Spud. He'll lose out of the top 3. But at the moment, Melonade and Steven Spud, all from the F3 League in the PlayStation platform, still in the top 3. Matty's under a lot of pressure from Keza. Michael's got himself the fastest lap of the race, and Benelli's got 3 seconds time penalty.
And it's looking like Tao might have an opportunity on Speed Queen 80, but just as I say that, it seemed as though she kicked it into high gear. Must have been using the ERS or something. She found some straight line speed, and she made sure that she kept Tao behind her. Tao really struggling to get by this Aston Martin, and I'm starting to wonder if maybe this is going to be a sneak preview of what we're going to see from Speed Queen during the race.
Well, I hope so. Well, I hope so anyway, but there's so much battles galore. We don't know which one to pick. Tao, Speed Queen, one of the battles, and the mid-pack is all closed in. I think Russman made the move on to Tinus. Tinus dropped by the 13. It's not a good start. So we have to wait and see how everything goes at the minute. And Nitro Gas.
Oh, and Tao gets into the back of Speed Queen 80 trying to make the move. To be fair, there was really no way that Tao was going to be able to get that done. So he hit the brakes, got into the back of Speed Queen. Don't know if there's any wing damage on the Ferrari. Speed Queen 80 is definitely okay.
Oh no, I'm so sorry, Tim. There's been a bad battle, because bad connection between Joe Amster. I think it was Russman or Sab. I couldn't catch that, but mad, to be fair. We'll have to check that by the stewards. But well done to Melonade, Stephen and Speed Queen. Kez drops himself down quite a few positions on my screen actually, but yeah, Speed Queen will finish dropping the Spud in 4th, Tao in 15th.
So that concludes the sprint race, a 31-lap feature race coming your way next. Melonade going to be leading them off of that grid. Then Steven, Speed Queen 80, Sir Spud, Tao, your top 5. With Maddie, Nitro Gas, Sab, Rustman, Ginger Tiger, your top 10. And then Tennis, Joe Hamster, Daryl Whiff, and Michael Luke Smoke. And then Tadeli, your top 17. And no, make that Sunboy your top 17, as Tadeli goes to P18. And then JP going to be in the 19th position with ARL in 20th.
Yeah, I was just going to say smoking, like the mask of Jim Carrey itself, but yeah, we'll have to wait and see how everything plans out. But Keza is the game's driver of the day. Spud says team orders. So ARL says P20 would need to get through as quickly as possible. But Tim, I'll let you do the honours for the classification.
And your official starting lineup for the Invictus Racing League's PlayStation Performance League Singapore Grand Prix. Melonade on the pole with Steven in 2nd, Speed Queen 80 in 3rd, Sir Spud in 4th, Tao in 5th, Maddie in 6th, Nitro Gash in 7th, 8th is Sab, 9th is Rustman, Ginger Tiger in 10th, Kez in 11th, 12th is Tennis, Joe Hamster in 13th, 14th is Daryl Whiff, and Michael Luke in 15th, 16th is Smoke, Sunboy in 17th, Tadeli in 18th, 19th is JP, ARL in the 20th position. 31 laps coming your way here in just a few moments' time. I'm going to give these drivers a quick breather and let them choose their race strategy and figure out just what they're going to do, because they're running out of time.
Yeah, so they'll be under a lot of pressure. But to be fair, though, To be fair though, Spud had a good race. So did Melonade and O'Stephen as well. So those three drivers and what Spud said on the chat will probably be the advantage of the teammates of Speed Queen, get herself into the top three. That is crucial at this stage. So you put under a lot of pressure. These guys are going to try and do their setups. We've not known anything of the weather crew just yet. We'll find out hopefully sooner rather than later. But let's see if ARL can try and get from P20 and see if he can get a good position at the end of the race. But you never know. You never know what's going to happen. Good evening to everyone that's joined the session. Delange, how you doing, mate? You alright? Hope you came well. He loves Singapore, Tim. He absolutely loves Singapore. Sad for a podium. This was before the sprint race. Hello, Reeds. Good to see you back as always. Good evening to Lee. How you doing, mate? You alright? Hope you came well. He put Kenya came from a long way back then. He meant to say Keza, but it was in the mobile phone. So he's blaming the phone. We'll have to call Keza now Kenya, but we can't do that all the time. So that's what's happened on Lee Harding's saying. Yeah, Rain says, Tal was reeling in Speed Queen before the safety car on the softs. We'll have the chance to cool it off. That was just at the end of that safety car. My apologies, it was so Stephen. Yeah, no worries, Reeves, no worries. But yeah, P20 for ARL. Let's see what you can try and do. Hello to Kelly. How you doing? Good to see you joined in. It says, good luck, guys. Yeah, good luck to everyone on the racing itself. Tim, I'm beating you this time. Top three. What's your top three predictions this week?
Oh boy, well I'm going to have to go with Melonade, Speed Queen, and then we're going to go with Rustman, because Rustman was looking quick. Obviously had a struggle in the sprint race, but I think he's going to be making up some positions in the feature race.
Ooh, okay. I tell you what, I reckon Speed Queen, Spud, and quickly, I'll go with Nightgash. I don't know why. Any order of that one. So 10 seconds left, Tim. I'll let you do the honours straight into the race.
And an honor it is each and every week, Malc. The drivers, well, we don't have to wait for them to line up on their appropriate positions on the grid. Not this time, not today. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights in the air. No red lights. We are green for the Invictus Racing League's PlayStation Performance League Singapore Grand Prix, and already some contact and some spinning and some carnage and whatever you want to call it at the start of Sir Spud. Already down to P20. Melonade off to a fantastic start. O'Stephen and Speed Queen 80. Your top three at the moment. Tal back there in fourth, and then Sab in P5. Would love to know what happened to Sir Spud, and you know what? Honestly, I think that Sir Spud would love to know what happened to Sir Spud as well. But we'll have to wait until after the race to see that replay. Sab, though, hanging on very nicely into the fifth spot. Speed Queen 80 thought about making a move onto O'Stephen, but could not get the job done. Had to follow back in line. Melonade had a fantastic start, and that was exactly what he needed. 1.4 seconds ahead of O'Stephen already.
Oh my days, Rustman making the move on to Tinnis. Come on! Come on, you want to make this move done, you got to do it now. 2 in the bed moments, there's quite a few battles going on at the mid-pack, and we do not know which one to pick it. So we have to wait and see how everything plans out. But at the moment, Sam's getting close to Tal, and Tinnis has lost the momentum, nearly hit the back of Nightgash, and on that, yeah, he's under a lot of pressure from Rustman, who really is on fire. One of your predictions so far, Tim?
Yeah, and you saw Rustman thinking about that opportunistic move on the outside, and to be fair, the gap was almost there, but Tennis just pretty much refused Rustman enough room to make that move really stick, so he had to fall back in line, but it was a good effort all the same from Rustman.
Yeah, so he's doing a stellar of a job at the moment, but again, remember, you got a McLaren, you got a Mercedes, and he said McLaren. Mercedes ahead in 8. I don't know what's happening to him there. But yeah, mad seeds. It looks like Speed Queen's getting, trying to put the pressure on O'Stephen. Cannot do anything about it. They'll have the DRS in the next lap or so. But Speed Queen, he really is on fire to try and get past O'Steven.
Yeah, and we're seeing a little bit of a contrast from the sprint race to where Speed Queen 80 was the only driver in a small group of medium tires to be on the soft compound. Well, now she's a little bit more even with everyone else because about half the field, give or take, has decided to start on the hard compound tire while the other half has elected to go for the mediums. And she is racing O'Steven at the moment, who is on the hard compound tire just like herself. Tao, on the other hand, has the advantage of the mediums just behind her. Melanade does as well. I think that's one reason why we've seen him build up such a dramatic lead so far, 2.9 seconds ahead of these two drivers. But as the run goes on...
No. Sorry, Tim. Sunboy has tried to make the move and lost the car completely.
Oh, and Speed Queen 80 just spun. So Speed Queen 80 is spun around. Don't think there's any wing damage, but she rejoins the field in the 7th, maybe even the 8th position.
Oh my days, what is going on? Oh my days, Russ Van is not messing about. He's trying to make the move onto Speed Queen. Can't do anything about it, but what actually happened to him?
Sadly, Malc, I think I must have blinked, honestly, because it's like I looked up and Speed Queen 80 was just spun around. So it was right there in the corner, right before you're entering that DRS zone. So I'm not sure if she could have got tapped from behind or if she just lost the back end on her own.
Well, we'll have to check back on the replays itself. Melanay's got himself on the Williams car, and he's got the fastest lap of the race, so that's mad from Melanay. Absolutely mad stuff, but O'Steven needs to try and catch up. And yellow flags, I think that might be Sunboy. It is Sunboy. He's lost it just after the bridge part of the section itself. So, so bad times for Sunboy. But yeah, mad scenes because Speed Queen Tennis trying to put the pressure on Nigel Gash for 6th place, Tim.
Now watching Sab in the 4th position give chase to Tao, who you said, Malc, today is going to be Tao's last race for the foreseeable future. So doing good so far in P3. Hopefully he can hang on and get a respectable finish in the Ferrari today. Sab looking on the inside, but can literally only look because there was no way that move was going to happen. But, sometimes you just have to peek your nose out and see what maybe you can do. Try to figure out where the driver you're racing is weaker compared to yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. And hopefully Tao will try and push on. Yellow flag, sector 2. I think it's virtual safety car. We've got a virtual safety car, so I don't know whether there's been wing damage on one of the cars, but we've got our first virtual safety car of the feature race now, so interesting to see how these guys can try and put the pressure on. But yeah, I don't know what to say, Tim. This is going to be, I think we're going to have a classic tonight. I've got a feeling we're going to have another classic race. But if you like what you've seen so far, guys, please make sure you like and subscribe to the Invictus Racing League YouTube channel for all the live races itself, and also like this stream. Massive help to myself and Tim as the commentators, as well as Invictus Racing League on the YouTube channel. Thank you so much, guys. We're aiming for at least 10 likes tonight, guys. Thank you so much. Tim.
So still under the VSC conditions here, and this has given these cars an opportunity to sort of bunch themselves up a little bit, if you will. Normally that's not the case in the VSC, but if you look at the track map, it does seem as though these cars have decided to form a nice little train behind O'Steven, and now we are back under the green flag conditions. So Tao trying to overtake O'Steven, of course, not really the best opportunity to go back green because he could not build the speed up to really set up that overtake.
Yeah, so we'll have to wait and see how everything goes at the minute, but probably Kessler drops down to 11, Joe Auster in 10th, and just watching Tinners try and put the pressure on Nigel Gash. Can Tao get himself in the podium? That'll be a fantastic ending of his racing career at Invictus Racing League for the foreseeable future. Hopefully he'll be back soon itself. But yeah, it would be a monumental achievement if he does do that. But Tinners is under a lot of pressure from Speed Queen. But he's lucky that he's got the DRS from Nigel Gash because you just don't know what's going to happen so far. But these drivers, you have to give 110% concentration at Singapore, and it's like Monaco. Anything with the barriers, you can't afford to make one silly mistake. If you do, that's it. Game over, Tim.
Yeah, Malc, we have seen a couple of crazy races from Singapore in our past, commentating for the Invictus Racing League. So we have not just heard about it, we have seen that firsthand, just how insane it can get, and you know how much of a detriment these very narrow walls can sometimes be to these drivers.
Absolutely, and we remember the dramatic ending. I can't remember what season it was in the Performance League, but we had a dramatic ending at where we had a couple of crashes at the end, and I think it was I can't remember. I'll have to get that back to you in a minute. But yeah, we had a fantastic ending of that. Hopefully we'll have another classic coming up. But Tao cannot make that move done on O'Steven. O'Steven's got 70% of that ERS compared to Tao, 54%. Saab 65. Ginger Tiger out of nowhere is in 5th. Nigel Gash in 6th. But yeah, Saab's trying to have a quick glance from Tao's perspective. He really means business, Saab. He really wants to get another podium after last night's F3 race, Tim.
Yeah, and you know, Saab, it's almost like we're seeing a new and improved driver this season. You know, really starting off the season strong with a win and finding himself in 4th right now, having a respectable day. Last season, if we saw Saab running in 4th, we would say, wow, this is unusual. This season, it's slowly but surely starting to become a somewhat regular sight. Saab has only won Bahrain, so he only has the one win to fall back on so far, but that doesn't mean that we need to take away from his performance, of course. As we turn to the points tables, we'll look for his name, and we find him down here in P11. So once again, the points are not reflecting his performances. So 33 points in Bahrain, then unfortunately 0 points the next week, then 17 points last week in the British Grand Prix. So Saab, we've only had a few races, so there's really not as much of a sample size as we would like to see. But oh, there is some contact. We know that much between Russman and Saab. But they mostly keep it clean, and no, they don't. Saab spins around.
That's mad, to be fair. There was a bit of contact. I think just trying to make the move onto Saab, but unfortunately for Saab, I think just trying to caught Saab out and gone a little bit wide. And then at turn 3, correct me if I'm wrong, sorry, turn 2, I believe. That was where everything went mad, to be fair. So, but yeah, unbelievable scenes, Tim.
Yeah, I think we're going to have to give Saab an asterisk to put next to his Singapore Grand Prix performance. We were saying that he's had some decent runs. Well, that might not be the case today.
Yeah, hopefully he'll bounce back. Hopefully the safety car will kick in at the moment. But O'Steven cannot get close to Melonade at all. Melonade in that Williams car, I say that again, Melonade in that Williams car is trying to pull away from a Red Bull, correct me if I'm wrong, from O'Steven's car, the Red Bull car. Reed says Melonade lost the second due to BSC and now he's gained 2 seconds. I know, absolutely insane from Melonade. And if he can hold on, that'll be a fantastic achievement. But we have to wait and see how Tao can put the pressure on O'Steven for 2nd place. So can Tao take that advantage, because all O'Steven's trying to do is try to save the tyre wear. But from O'Steven all the way down to possibly 10th, Tim, possibly 10th, that is mad. That is mad. Oh, Ginger Tiger trying to make the move onto Tao, but cannot do anything about it at the minute. He still goes top side. Yellow flags at the 3. Yellow flags at the 3. That might be Spud. It is the Spud. Oh, contact! Contact between Tao and Tinnis, and Speed Queen has had the advantage to take over Tao. They're going down the DRS straight. But can Speed Queen make another move on Tinnis? But it'll be a big move itself, but cannot do anything about it.
So Tao losing a few spots there. Good move, though, by Ginger Tiger to get into P3 just out of the 2nd corner before that DRS zone, too. And then Tinnis and Tao, as we saw, a little bit of almost bumper cars. Maybe there was a little bit of contact, but looks like there is no wing damage that we can see on any car. And then, like you said, Speed Queen 80 just sort of seizing the opportunity that was presented to her.
Yeah, absolutely. Can Speed Queen put the pressure on Tinnis? We want to see how she can try and put the pressure on at the moment. Tiger. I really hope Tao can step up again now. I just want to have a quick look there was a barrel at the back. There was a two-to-bed moment between the McLaren. Oh, no! Oh, no! Nigel and JP got side side. JP went into the wall, and we've got our first safety car. Same place as what happened to ARL. And Matty's out. Matty is out of the race as well, Tim.
So, unfortunately, we got two drivers out on lap 7 of 31 in our first safety car.
Yeah, that'll probably be checked, but we'll have to wait and see how everything plans out. But some of the drivers, I wonder if they're all going to go into the pits now. So Tinus and Tal and ARL, Tadeli's also going to the pits. Oh no, sorry, I do apologise, not Tadeli. I thought it was Tadeli. Tinus and Smoke have got themselves into the pits as well. So, and Joe Amster, they're all going to the pits as well, Tim.
So just waiting to run out this safety car period, then we will be going back green. When we go back green, we'll likely be about 21 or 22 laps to the finish.
There'll be 20, about 23, 24 laps left, Tim. So everyone else is all within the top 7. Menonade still on those medium tyres. From 10, the top 10 have not pitted, but the bottom 10 should have at least pitted once, Tim.
Yeah, and already, checking off the boxes for some of those drivers, getting that second tire compound out of the way. Of course, with most of the tracks this season, because of the rule that, you can now start on whatever tire you wish, you're mostly going to see drivers go for the medium to hard strategies or the hard to medium tire strategy. Sometimes you're going to see a driver switch it up, throw the soft compound in there, but most of the time you're going to be seeing the medium hards or hard to mediums. So now that they've checked that box, the hards should theoretically be lasting to the end of this race. Now, maybe the safety car came out a little bit earlier than some would like, so it compromises their strategy a little bit. Now they're going to have to spend a longer time than they expected on the hard tires, but it's not going to be the end of the world. And assuming that we don't get another safety car, then this could actually benefit some of the drivers like Tal, ARL, and Smoke with 0 laps on their tires, because as the run goes on and the rest of the drivers' tires start to wear down, theirs will start to come in, and you get the same effect that you do when you see a driver attempt the undercut, to where the fresher tires are running faster laps and, well, obviously helps drivers make overtakes.
Absolutely, and that's what they need to try and get that advantage going as well. But again, I would watch out for some of the drivers that probably will try and close the gap and pull away as much as possible. But from that perspective, Rain says Ginger Tiger's pace in that Haas is something to look out for. I noticed that one of the other drivers, I think it was ARL, who was in the Haas car, correct me if I'm wrong, a couple of weeks ago, and he did well. So that Haas car looks like it's more of a beneficial car to perform well. So that might need to be checked by the admins to see what they're going to try and do in that situation. But Reeds has got a question for us. Now that we have a break in action, Tim and Malc, is this one of your favourite street tracks? So I think we've already mentioned about it, but I will be honest with you, I don't know what it is. If I was racing on this, I would be lucky, but I absolutely hate this track. I don't know what it is, I just don't like this track at all. I just can't get that feel of a good track. But Tim, if you want to repeat what you said earlier on for Reeds about is this your favourite street track?
Well,
is this one of your favourites? Sorry.
I don't hate watching it on TV, but yeah, to repeat what I said earlier, anyone who says that they like Singapore unless they won the race, I question their sanity, because Singapore is it's like a masochist's racetrack. Honestly, it's so difficult because you have these very long straightaways that you need to build up a lot of speed for to try to overtake the driver ahead, but then you have to make sure that you got plenty of downforce to make it through the tight little corners. And of course, as the nature with most street tracks, you get these very narrow parts of the racetrack, like going under this little bridge here. It's very narrow, and you got walls on both sides of you, so one little mistake, you overcorrect. You're not in the gravel trap, you're not in the runoff area, you're in the wall and possibly out of this race. So Singapore, very challenging, and from a fan's perspective, that's exactly what they want. They want these drivers to be challenged, and I'd say that even some of the drivers do want to be challenged. All the same, Singapore is physically demanding in real life, and even though you do get a significant break in the virtual world, some of these drivers with high force feedback settings on their wheels would probably say that it's a bit of a workout at the end of this race too.
Absolutely, and it after 31 laps, I tell you what, this is one of the longest. It feels long because it's just constant concentration, and you just don't want to make any silly mistakes at all. Good evening to Retro. How you doing, mate? Says, can anyone join these leagues? If you can join in, if you look at the description, I think there's a link. If it's not, check out InvictusRacingLeague.com, and there should be one called Apply to Race. And when you do, sign up, and one of the drivers will one of the admins will probably get back in touch with you very soon. But again, because we're already near halfway through the season, we have to wait and see how everything goes. But that's how we, if you wanted to join in. This is the PlayStation, by the way. This is the PlayStation League on the Realistic Performance League. The Realistic Performance League is basically obviously not the equal, but the real life version of the format of the cars, and obviously the Red Bull and the Mercedes is the fastest cars compared to the Williams and everything. Yeah, PS1. Yeah, that's fine, mate. So yeah, just check out these sites. Hopefully there's a link for the Apply to Race. If not, one of the admins will get in contact with you, or tell us your PSN, and someone will get in contact with you very soon. All right. Safety car will be in the slap team.
All right, so Melonade is going to be the control car, gets to decide when we go back. Green as long as it's before the start-finish line. No overtaking until that start-finish line, though, and we're going to ride on board with O'Steven, see what kind of a jump Melonade gets. And look at O'Steven hanging back there. You might think that that's counterintuitive, but actually I think that that is by design, because I think O'Steven is going to try to set up a nice jump on Melonade here by laying back and getting into the throttle a little bit early. He can build up a little bit more speed and make it a little bit easier to really pass Melonade, but he's going to have to time this perfectly. We saw something similar with Max Verstappen in the Dutch Grand Prix this year, and was not able to time it quite as perfect as Max. All the same, we are green, and Ginger Tiger already overtaking O'Steven on the outside, and there goes Ginger Tiger around the Red Bull and pretty much passed him like he was sitting still.
Yeah, O'Steven wanted to try that move. Oh no, what? There's been carnage. There's been carnage. Someone else had a wing damage. Nigel drops down to 7. Now he moves up to 6th place. O'Steven drops down to 4th. From 2nd to 4th. No, 2nd to 3rd, sorry. O'Steven Speed Queen battling out for 3rd place. O'Steven got himself back. But Ginger Tiger out of nowhere using that Haas car to benefit from getting a good position team.
Yeah, and O'Steven not sure really what happened there. It just seemed as though Ginger Tiger got a better restart than he did. Now O'Steven is struggling to play catch-up here. 1.1 seconds back behind Ginger Tiger already, who is putting an enormous amount of pressure on Melonade. The safety car definitely did not help Melonade. He built up about a 5-second lead or so. But the safety car, of course, bunching the rest of the field up, bringing them back to Melonade. And with him being on those medium tires, now is about the time when you're going to start to see them sort of lose some performance, while the hard tires are starting to gain some life back into them. So Ginger Tiger, you see how he's been able to close the gap down to Melonade since passing O'Steven. I expect more of the same as this run goes on, and when DRS is activated, Ginger Tiger will be sitting very pretty.
Yeah, absolutely. Just waiting to see how everything plans out from their perspective. But just while you're watching that, I'm just trying to see what happens in the mid-pack. Saab's trying to get close to Russman. Russman getting close to Nijagash. Tinus is getting close to IRL, the former champion of the Performance League as well. So Joe Amster is really under trying to put the pressure on Tinus. Oh, that was a bit of a back end loose from Joe himself, and that's not going to compromise too much. And now he's brought some boy into play. He's brought some boy into play, and I think everyone's pouring a lot of sweat at the minute, Tim. Oh no! What's happened there? Nigel gets spun, and Russman has also spun. So two drivers, and Tadeli is going into the pits as well. So two drivers who had a bit of a spin. I did not caught what happened, but they are spun out and dropped down a few positions, Tim.
Yeah, so very unfortunate there. As we ride on board with Ginger Tiger trying to chase down Melonade. Lap 12 of 31. So 30 laps remaining in this race now. No, that's actually 20 laps, excuse me. So yeah, I need to see, what did I tell you, Malc? Every week I tell you my math is wrong. Well, finally it was. But we got side-by-side action with Speed Queen 80 and O. Steven, but they figured it out. Speed Queen 80 in third, O. Steven in fourth. They fall back in line. O. Steven, though, waiting for the benefit of that DRS. We, of course, look out the back of O. Steven. We see that there is no DRS yet, but we also see a line of cars ready to attack him once there is.
Yeah, I have to wait and see how everything plans out at the moment. But Ginger Tiger's really up for it now. He really is up for it from the F2 driver itself. Joe Amster still putting the pressure on Tinus for O'Connor's in 8th place. But yeah, I'm just speechless here because there's so many battles galore. You can't keep your eyes off all these battles. Saab getting close to Keza in 5th and 6th, and someone's going to the pits. I think it might be O'Steven actually. O'Steven going to the pits. Yeah, he's gone to the pits that early. I don't know if he's got wing damage. Well, I'll check that. You check on the race. Oh yeah, he has got wing damage, Tim.
So unfortunate for O'Steven that it was looking like it was going to be a pretty good day for him, and now, of course, he's going to be playing catch-up. Ginger Tiger, though, very close to Melonade, almost making some contact, but we might be seeing a move for the lead now. Ginger Tiger looking on the inside and passes Melonade. Does he get him done, though? Yes, just barely, as Ginger Tiger clears Melonade. So Melonade down to P2, Ginger Tiger up to P1. Now let's see what kind of advantage those hard tires are going to give Ginger Tiger. Now, you were saying that the Haas does seem very fast around here as well, so that is playing into Ginger Tiger's hands, but we're seeing him put on an enormous gap already. 0.7 of a second it was up to for a moment.
Yeah, while you're watching that, there was a great battle. Oh no! Contact between Joe and Tinus. Oh, I was going to say, those two drivers had a fantastic battle. Just as I said that, just as I was about to say it, Joe Amster and Tinus have both spun out and lost out to 12th and 14th place, Tim.
Yeah, now we're watching Sunboy, who's got a nice line of cars behind him. That's Daryl Whiffen and Michael Luke Tao. And it looks like Russman joining that party as well. Daryl Whiffen and Tao swapping positions around, it looked like. And Tao now has the line of cars behind him, starting with Michael Luke. We'll go back to the battle for the top three. It is Ginger Tiger, Melonade, and Speed Queen 80 in a nice line. Lap 13 of 31 here, about to be lap 14 of 31 as Ginger Tiger leads over Melonade and Speed Queen 80. Ginger Tiger out of the DRS zone from Melonade, and that is very crucial. Speed Queen 80 is within the DRS zone, though, so now she's going to be putting some pressure on that Williams driver.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's a few drivers that are going to come into the pits, Tim, because there's quite a few who have completely lost the front wing. And some have had partial loss of the wings itself. I think some boy Russman, Jerome and Michael, unfortunately. No, Michael, no! Bad scenes, to be fair. Towel getting close to Dowell for 7th in 7th place. But IRL and Saab, they're getting close into the top three, but Speed Queen is getting close to Melonade in 2nd place, too.
Yeah, we're in really a nice battle between Melonade and Speed Queen is sizing up right now, and we're just waiting to see if Speed Queen will be able to get by Melonade once we get to the next DRS zone, because I think that those medium tires are just starting to give up the ghost. And that's honestly surprising to me, though, Malc, if that is the case, because it's only 13 laps on the medium tires. Normally, you see them last at least a little bit longer than that.
Yeah, I would expect that. But remember, this is a performance car, so it could be totally different to what we see on the equal performance. But yeah, it's just mad scenes, to be fair. But again, it just depends on the setups, Tim. It just depends on the setups. And also, it all depends on how these drivers can cope with time management. Now we all know from, I'll keep saying it every time, Speed Queen is the best person ever to manage her tyres in the cars, because she can last the softs and the mediums for longer. And Speed Queen and Melanie, they're both. Oh no! Oh my God, Tim! Speed Queen went into the pits, tried to brake, and because she tried to avoid hitting the back of Melanie, unfortunately for her, she hit the pit wall and she's out of the race, Tim.
And is that a virtual safety car that I'm seeing that we're under now?
No, safety car, Tim.
There's car. The yellow dot. There is the yellow dot, and that is a shame for Speed Queen, because I don't want to say it was a guaranteed podium, because we're just now past the halfway point, but it was looking very good.
Absolutely. And yeah, she was really up for it, to be fair, but she will be absolutely kicking herself. But also, she did try to avoid hitting the back of Melanie to try and avoid that penalty itself. But because of that, she unfortunately had to go into the pit wall. We'll have to look at it again from that perspective. But that's what happened, Tim. Unfortunately for Speed Queen, she has joined JP and Matty of the DNF from this week's race itself. But ARL, Tim, out of nowhere, ARL from 20th, all the way to 3rd, Tim. That's amazing.
Yeah, of course, ARL had some issues in the sprint race, so that saw him start literally dead last. This safety car helping him out. It helps Ginger Tiger and Sab out as well, but see, ARL, 7 laps on those hard tires. He can take those tires to the end. Now, granted, he's got some laps on him, so they're not going to feel the best once we get to the end of this race, but ARL can stay out the rest of the way.
Yeah, absolutely, and we'll have to wait and see how everything plans out for these guys. But Ginger Tiger's pitted, Tim. He has pitted. Will ARL and Sab pit? I think Sab's pitted. ARL is staying out from 20th all the way to 1st, Tim. Can ARL do the unthinkable? I know it's halfway, Tim. I know it's halfway, but can ARL do the unthinkable and hold on with those tyres all the way to the end? That's the big question of it all.
And you know, Malc, sometimes with statistics like these, we don't always know the definitive answer, because sometimes that information is just not available to us, whether or not something's been done in the Invictus Racing League before. But truth be told, because we have 20 drivers in this field, and because the limit is 20 drivers, it can unequivocally be stated that if ARL were to win today, that he would be making Invictus Racing League history by it being, if not the first, then at least one of the drivers to win a race from 20th place.
Yeah, absolutely. It would be one of many, should I say, one of many to do well in this season's racing, but also in general on Invictus to be from the back of the grid all the way to 1st. But again, this is the halfway marker. Anything could change. Anything could change. Tal's in the top 3, Tim. Tal is in the top 3. Can he hold on? But again, Ginger Tiger, Sab, Keza, they're all on the mediums. Dowell is on the softs. I wonder if that's a mistake or he has to pick those softs, unfortunately. But those softs, I can't see him last 16 laps of those tyres itself. But we have to wait and see if he is going to try and hold on. But I don't know what to say to him. This has been... You just can't keep your eyes off this race.
And you know, Malc, if I was Daryl Whiffen, I would just pit right now and put another set of mediums on if I've got it, because those soft tires, they are not going to last. We saw in the sprint race that after only 5 laps or so, Speed Queen 80 of all drivers was struggling to keep drivers behind her because of how quickly those soft tires seem to wear out. Now, granted, it does depend on your driving style, your setup, your car. I mean, there's a lot of variables there. All the same, I don't care who you are not making the soft tires here last until the end of this race from lap 17.
But Tim, if he can get another safety car, he's got a chance, because he can save those tyres and try and keep it manageable as well. So Yeah, it just all depends if you can try and manage it as well. And he'll definitely be hoping for another safety car if he is going to go and try and hold on to those soft tyres at the end. But yeah, those drivers who are already pitted and gambling on the fresh mediums or a fresh set of the hards, yeah, Melanade will be under a lot of pressure. I say that again, from a lot of pressure from 6th all the way down to 11th with the medium tyres and the one soft.
And, you know, of course, your hand really is forced with the pit strategy because if you start on the mediums, most logically, you're going to be going on to the hards. And if you start on the hards, the most logical answer is going on to the medium. So the only other compound you have to choose from is that soft tire. And it's not really viable unless we're at the very end of the race. And this safety car, truth be told, just came out a few laps too early to make that soft tire a viable option. Now, if this safety car had came out on lap 20, 21, then I would be saying soft tires all day long, because obviously you're going to want those grippy tires for, you know, what would turn into less than 10 laps of a shootout at the end. Gonna throw a disclaimer out, by the way. I am by no means a professional strategist, so if any of this turns out to be wrong, you can't say I told you so.
I am going to say that, Tim. You know that. I will hope that's what's going to happen anyway. But I'm keeping your words there as well, so we'll have to wait and see how it all plans out as well. The safety car, we've not had anything from the safety car to say including this lap. But if he did, he would have had to go in just before the end of the second segment into the third. So we might have one more lap, Tim. One more lap of the safety car. And yeah. And we're going to have some more racing at the Singapore Grand Prix. If you like what we've seen so far, guys, please make sure you like and subscribe to the Invictus Racing League YouTube channel for all the live race itself. We are aiming for at least 10 likes tonight, guys. We're aiming for at least 10 likes tonight, guys. Will be a massive help, and I'll say that again, be a massive help for myself and Tim as the commentators, as well as this stream and also Invictus Racing League YouTube channel. Make sure you like this stream, guys. Make sure you like this stream. It'll be a massive help. Thank you so much, guys.
And, you know, Malc, I've got just the perfect bit of information for you. You truly cannot argue against this logic. By this logic, I am never wrong. Tire good. If no tire, pit for new tire. That is my strategy. That is my race-winning strategy.
Yeah. The most logic way of everything happened, to be fair. So absolutely, yeah. That is the way forward with the tyre wear strategies itself. But yeah, new tyre, stay out. Old tyre, pit for new tyres. Just the most common sense. But it's just doing it at the right place at the right time. That's the crucial point, and that's what we love about Invictus, because it's just the unthinkable, the unbelievable moments that you never see that could happen. Like IRL from 20th, you heard that right, guys. He started off in 20th from the sprint started off at the feature race, and now all the way in first on lap 18 of 31. So yeah, absolutely mad scenes, to be fair. So Tim, I think the safety car will be in this lap, so yeah, buckle up, fasten your seatbelts. We're in for a fantastic roller coaster ride, Tim.
I'll tell you, I'm glad the safety car is coming in this lap, because I'm out of my little informational tidbits here. ARL is going to be the control car, gets to decide when we go back green, as long as it's before the start-finish line. From P20 to P1, where will he finish? Well, we will find out in, what is that, about 14 laps time.
Yeah, about 14 laps time. Who will win the Singapore Grand Prix on the feature race itself? Mad scenes. They're coming up to the bridge section now. IRL needs to get a good start against Tao, because Tao is not messing about. He is not messing about at all. So they all try and warm up their tyres. Here we are, Count Tao. Tao needs to get a good start. He's waiting for that moment. Hopefully he's not going to do what O'Steven did earlier on. And lose out so much time. Yellow flag set to 3. That is to Dudley, and they're off now, Tim. They are absolutely off. And Aero is not messing about. He's trying to pull away from Tao.
Yeah, and Tao really was caught sleeping a little bit there. ARL had a massive jump there on the start, and you saw him actually go a little bit wide out of the final corner. Thought for a minute that maybe the curb was going to catch him out and make a mistake. Oh, we got some contact between Ginger Tiger and Tennis going into that corner there, but they mostly keep it clean there. Ginger Tiger falls back in line behind Tennis, of course, waiting for that DRS. No DRS this time, as you can see out the back of the Haas car. But it is ARL, Tao, Tennis, Ginger Tiger, Sab, your top 5 at the moment. There goes Ginger Tiger around Tennis. Made it look easy, my goodness. And you were saying, Malc, Ginger Tiger on those medium tires is going to be a force to be reckoned with. Well, he is coming on strong.
Absolutely. Tao needs to defend massively. Ginger Tiger say, look, it's there, he's ready to make that move. He needs to make that move into second place. He needs to do it as soon as. But the DRS is not active yet. The DRS is not active yet until the next few laps. So Tao needs to put the pressure on. They have both got at least 60% of that ERS. So they need to, Tao needs to keep going. Come on, Tao! On your last race, so Invictus. Come on! Hold on! I know you got 13 more laps to go. But keep it going. Put the pressure on ARL. That's what everyone will be shouting at the moment. But yeah, absolutely mad seas at the minute, Tim.
Yeah, and ARL, of course, not the defending champion, but a former champion of the Invictus Racing League's Realistic Performance League, now leading the Singapore Grand Prix. Going to be lap 20 of 31 this time. So the laps winding down, approaching that 10 lap to go mark, but even 10 laps to go, that's essentially just another sprint race around here. So we still have got plenty of laps left to go. We're hoping it's green the whole time as we got a Ferrari spinning around Tao into the wall from P2. No front wing and, of course, no green.
And we got the virtual safety car. I tell you what, Tim, I am not saying any more driver names now, because everything I say, something happens. Like with Joe Amster a few times, and throughout the career of Joe Amster, so sorry, mate. And now Tao, which I wanted him to get his first podium on his last race of the season. Now he's going to be right back. And Michael's out! Michael is out of the race, Tim. And we've got another safety car.
So that upgraded it to a safety car. Michael ruined it and upgraded it to a safety car.
No, Michael. No. You upgraded the safety car. So now, I think it's brought uncertainty now. So do you think that some people would gamble to go on some fresh tyres now, or do you think they'll keep on hold with these tyres? I know the ones that already pitted like 5 laps ago, they'll keep those, but I'm on about the ones that like Tao, Tadeli, Tinnis, ARL, they're still on 12 laps of those hards. Do you think they'll gamble to go on the fresh ones, or do you think not, Tim?
Well, Malc, this is when I step off of my pit box for my very conveniently timed bathroom break, because I don't know what to do if you're one of the top 3. I'll be honest with you, because this is one of those situations to where, you know, you don't want to make the wrong move, but ARL seems to think that pitting is going to be the right move here, so Ginger Tiger is going to react to that and stay out. Of course, Ginger Tiger has got practically fresh medium, so it's a no-brainer there. Tennis, he has to stay out. He's got a time penalty, so if he pits, he's going to lose that time anyway. Might as well try to gain as much as you can on track. So Sab there in P3, likely going to be the only other driver within the top 5 that I think is going to have the pace to challenge Ginger Tiger.
I think the way Ginger Tiger is going at the minute, I don't think anyone can try and stop him at the moment, and why would you be? Because Ginger Tiger is on a roll, and I say that again, he is absolutely on a roll at the moment in that Haas car. So that Haas car will have to be talked about again, because it's been beneficial to some of the cars who have had the advantage a few times this season. So let me just get the standings. Yeah, Monza. Sorry, not Monza. I think it was Imola or Monza, I can't remember. On round 3 at no, it was Imola. Sorry, not Monza. It was Imola for the 3rd round of. It was meant to be the 4th round, but one of the races we had to move because of the unfortunate passing of the Queen Elizabeth II. But yeah, it's just been mad race. But Jin Tiger could be on for a good position as long as he will be ahead of Speed Queen after tonight, as long as he stays in that first place. But where is Russman? Russman is in 6th. This will be massive, I said that again, Tim, massive points for Jin Tiger to be in the lead in this in the Performance League, Tim.
Yeah, and you see all the cars forming behind the safety car, so hopefully we're going to get the safety car coming in this time, but it is going to actually have to stay out another lap because we got 2 more stragglers there in the back, so that's going to give us, I think, a 7-lap shootout to the finish. And it's going to be Ginger Tiger, Tennis, and Sab, your top 3 when we do go back green. Now, here's an update on your penalty situation. 3 seconds to Tennis and Keza, and then 5 seconds down there belonging to ARL. So, unfortunately, he made the pit stop, then he picked up a time penalty. ARL just should not have made that pit stop.
But then he would have risked, well, he didn't want to go on those hard tires all the way to the end because he knew the pressure from Ginger Tiger from that earlier, after that safety car, the earlier safety car. So he knew that was going to happen. But Tinnis will be, well, I say Tinnis is really trying to put the pressure on Ginger Tiger, but I really cannot see anyone other than Ginger Tiger to hold on unless he makes a massive, I say that again, unless Ginger Tiger makes a massive mistake, which I can't see that happening to him.
No, Ginger Tiger, he really hasn't set a foot wrong all day. He's, he did not get the pole. He did not win the sprint race, but he has been able to make his way up through the field during the feature race here. And as he will be the control car, the benefit is going to be on his side as he gets to decide when we go. And he's on the freshest tires in the field, save for the bottom 4 drivers. So we do expect Ginger Tiger to make some significant gains over Tennis when we go back green, especially considering that Tennis is the hard tire stuck in a sea of mediums right now.
Yeah, absolutely. To be honest, Sab, Keza, Sunboy, Rustman, they need to make that move against Tennis as soon as possible. I'm not messing about, Tim. I'm not messing about. If you want to win this race, you've got to get ahead of the hard tyres. And not only that, Ginger Tiger's going to pull away. Sab in that Mercedes, even though he won at the Bahrain Grand Prix, he's got a chance. He's got a chance to put the pressure on Ginger Tiger if he can make that move against Tinnis in this lap also. But I think the safety car is winning this lap, Tim.
So Ginger Tiger is going to be the control car. Tennis in P2, lap 22 of 31. So the laps here winding down from Singapore. Just waiting to see what kind of a jump that Ginger Tiger is going to be able to get here.
It's really slowing down towards the bridge section itself, Tim. He really doesn't want to give any advantage of any cars to give the slow start itself, but he'll have to go all the way to the last corner to pull away. So Ginger Tiger's trying to warm his tyres on. He's just be careful not to lose out on Tinnis's advantage, but Tinnis needs to step up because Sab is going to pounce if he doesn't. And look at Ginger Tiger, he had a great start. Look at he was pulling away by 5 tenths, Tim.
Yeah, lap 23 of 31 now, and Ginger Tiger in command of this race. Sab there in P3 trying to get another win on the season, but will he be able to chase down Ginger Tiger? And now Sir Spud is out of the session. He has retired. That is a wreck. Not sure what happened to the Ferrari. It's not going to be a VSC or a safety car, or at least I don't believe so, as it is still green flag conditions, just a yellow flag in Sector 1. Now we got Keza trying to make a move on Sab, gets the job done, but does he clear Sab? No, maybe some contact between the two, but they keep it clean, and now Sab with the preferred line on the inside clears Keza, but only just. He does have his hands full with the Alpine behind him, though. This is allowing Ginger Tiger and Tennis to pull away. Of course, Tennis 3-second time penalty, so he is going to have to get 3 seconds ahead of Sab if he's going to beat his car allocated teammate today. But Ginger Tiger, he is not in much jeopardy of losing the lead from anybody right now. He just has to run his own race and keep it clean, and he should theoretically be standing on the top spot of the podium.
Yeah, at the moment, Tim. But anything can happen in any lap on the F1 race itself. But we'll have to wait and see how everything plans out as things stand. And oh my God, we do not want any more safety cars, guys. Please don't do any more safety cars. We want to see some good action of racing now. So Darrell's trying to put the pressure on O'Stephen. I felt sorry for O'Stephen actually. He's been struggling this season with the new format, not the new format, but the new cars itself. He mowed on I didn't want to say mowed, but he got frustrated, shall we say, in the pre-season races, and he was not happy with that. And now he's in 10th place. He had a good chance to get a podium this evening, Tim.
Yeah, and unfortunately for O'Stephen, that's just not going to happen, though. But P10 is still nothing to shake a stick at. Of course, here in the Performance League, as long as you finish the race, you get points. So O'Stephen is not the last car scoring points on track at the moment. All the same, you're still shooting for that top 10 position, because the higher you finish, quite obviously, the more points you get.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh! Smoke! Smoking! Into 7th place, and Melanade lost out of the position into 8th, but Melanade is under a lot of pressure to put the pressure on Smoke. Oh my days, there goes topside. Melanade trying to do everything he can, but cannot do anything about it. Melanade is trying everything he can to put the pressure on Smoke. Smoke, he's trying to defend all his life. Mad seems to be fair. Could even to Spud. I think what happened, Tim, there was a 3-car wide situation and lost out, not from Spud, but I think there might be a few questions asked on some of the drivers itself. But so Mad seems to be fair. Turn 1, 3 the bed moment.
So still watching this battle between Smoke and Melanade. Of course, remember, Melanade was one of those drivers who, Melanade was the pole sitter. He won the sprint race. He was very quick around here, but then he got hung out by the safety car. And, by hung out, I mean absolutely abused and beaten down. Because if it had continued to go through green flag runs, Melanade may not be back in 8th place. He'd probably be a little bit closer to Ginger Tiger and Tennis. But sadly for him, that's just not how it worked out.
Yeah, absolutely. Reeves has shown Spud had a good spot. The track is incident prone, as it is. Yeah, to be fair though, you need to be comfortable. You need to be absolutely confident with your other drivers around you to say, if I make this move against you, Tim, say I made the move against you, you need to make sure that you're comfortable that I'm making that move and not make sure that I'm not going to take you out into the wall or anything like that. Do you know what I mean? So this track is really 100%, 110% concentration levels, sky high, wherever happens. So I could see why. 7 laps ago, Tim, and Kes is putting the pressure on Sam.
Yeah, this track, you really do need to have a lot of trust for your fellow drivers to make some of these moves stick, and sometimes even that's not enough. Keza, though, in P4, trying to give chase to Sab, and no one's even close to Ginger Tiger, 2 seconds ahead. So that is no surprise. The freshest tires in the field. Sab has equal tires, but is stuck behind Tennis, and this just goes to show how difficult it is to overtake around Singapore, and why personally I think that it would have been ARL's best option to stay out on the hard tires, because Tennis is on old hard tires. He restarted in 2nd place, and he's running in 2nd place. Will he finish in 2nd place? Well, realistically, probably not, because he's got that time penalty, but without that time penalty, there's at least a chance. So it's just that you get stuck in these DRS trains, or these aerodynamic trains when DRS is not active, that you can't really go anywhere, you can't move anywhere. So I think that ARL would be leading this pack if he had stayed out, or at the very least being 2nd.
Yeah, absolutely, but it just depends on the gap itself. But at the moment, Saab will push himself up to 2nd place, and Sunboy will move up to 3rd, depending on the positions of everyone else. Just having a quick look at the penalties again. Yellow flag 63, that is the McLaren of Joe Hamster. Oh! Kessa, I don't know if there was any contact, but Kessa, oh my days. Side by side between Sunboy and Kessa. The two drivers are really pushing it now. and the two drivers cannot make a mistake at all. But unfortunately now, some boy has got himself into 4th place and has a chance for a podium, Tim.
Yeah, and I do believe that there might be something wrong with Keza, whether that could possibly be a communication issue between him and his car. Not 100% sure. It might be fixed now. All the same, Keza running in the 5th place at the moment. Sunboy P4, lap 26 of 31. Almost over with the Singapore Grand Prix, and Ginger Tiger is your leader with Tennis and Sab, your top 3. Here's an update on your time penalties once again. 3 seconds for it's Tennis and Keza. ARL, well, he's got 3 seconds, but he's also got 5 more added onto it. 8 seconds now for ARL.
Yeah, so that is not good news for ARL to try and put the pressure on. But Tennis, fair play to Tennis though, Tim. I've got to say that. Fair play to Tennis for gambling on holding on those hard tyres. But I'm just worried that it's because he's holding back Sab, Sunboy and Keza, at least Russman as well. They're losing out so much time on Ginger Tiger. But to be fair though, Tennis is still within 2.3 seconds of Ginger Tiger. So not all is lost at this stage, Tim.
And I am actually very impressed to see Tennis as close as he is to Ginger Tiger. I mean, you know, and I know what you're thinking. Well, 2.4 seconds, that's not really close at all. And you're right, it's not. But when you take into consideration the differences in tire wear, then it is quite impressive to see what Tennis has been able to do. But you also have to remember that Ginger Tiger's tires are going to start to wear out now. And we saw earlier on in the race what seemed like the tires, the medium tires, wearing out about 13 or 14 laps into a run. So Ginger Tiger, having the safety car laps under his belt, should give those tires a little bit more life. And obviously there's no jeopardy of him not being able to make it to the end. However, since we are under another safety car, everything I just said is out the
window. Oh, Tim, we do apologise for that. We do apologise. But Tim, could you repeat all that again, please? That would be fantastic. To be fair,
I want my 45 seconds of oxygen back.
Oh no, I feel bad for Tim because he explained it absolutely well, and someone just mugged off by doing the safety car. But there's been no crashes from what I could see, Tim. So I don't know where the safety car has actually come from. So yeah, I'm a bit surprised at that, Tim. To be fair.
Well, I would say though, Matt, that this will likely be our last safety car, because lap 28 of 31, and of course, unlike the real-life Formula 1, these races do not end under safety car, thankfully, so we will see, 2-3 lap shootout at the end, maybe a 1-lap shootout if the game wants to really keep the safety car out there that long, but we normally don't see that.
No, but Tennis is lucky. He can try and save those tyre wear and try and save that ERS as much as possible. He needs a lot. Because compared to Ginger Tiger himself, he's already lost 30% already between them two. Ginger Tiger 65 at the moment, Tennis is in 35%. Same with Sam, 37%. Sunboy has got all ERS 100%. Keza 32%. Same with Russman, same, well, 40% now for Smoke of ERS. So yeah, so it'd be interesting to see how these guys can try and push on with those fresh, let's try and get that ERS to the maximum as possible and use it wisely in the next few laps, Tim.
Yeah, but I'd actually argue that Tennis, this actually hurt him more than it helped him, because the safety car brings the field closer to everybody, and with that time penalty, we're going to see Tennis drop down even further than what he already would have. Now, that's assuming that Tennis could have held on under the green flag conditions to the end of the race. But as the race went on, the gap was sort of, cars just in general were getting spaced out, so it stands to reason that Tennis had a better chance at a better finishing position before the safety car.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm going to say this to you now, Tim. Are we going to have another dramatic ending like what we had with... I'm trying to remember the names now. Yeah, my head's gone, because it was just so much unbelievable moments. And Are we going to have another fantastic ending at the end of this race?
We better. There's been too many safety cars, man. Just give us a nice finish.
We'll find out sooner than later. I'll tell you what. I think the safety car will come in on this lap. I think because Tal and Joe Amster, I know they're far behind. Tonelli's just joining the pack now. But those two drivers, once they've gone past some of the drivers, some of the corners itself, I think by the time they'll get to before the end of the second sector, they will join the pack. I think, anyway. But don't put your hopes up. I'm not going to say any more. They might do it, they may not. I don't know. But at the end of the second sector, let's see if they can try and do it. But ARL, Daryl, Tadelli, Joe Amster, and Tal, they're all gone for the soft tyres, Tim.
Maylander needs to start putting down some quality laps under this safety car period.
Yeah, they've got to do it. They've got to do the bestest laps they have ever done. Three laps to go, guys. 3 laps to go. Can anyone try and stop Jin Tiger from winning the race at Singapore and possibly his second win of the season? Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, it was from Imola as well. So, but yeah, I mean, Jin Tiger have done fantastic stuff. Tinnis with that hard tyres of 21 laps already, insane. Saab could get another podium again. 2 podiums in a row this week would be mad scenes. But safety car will be in this lap. Safety car is in this lap, and they are getting close. The back 2, they are getting close to the pack, and Jin Tiger needs to do it all over again and try and pull away from Tinnis, Tim.
With Tinnis in between himself and Saab, Ginger Tiger is almost, keyword almost, a shoe-in for this victory. However, he has ran a great race so far. It could come to an end here if he makes one single mistake on this restart. It is going to be a 2-lap shootout to decide it all. Ginger Tiger, the best tires in the top 5. Saab, his closest competition, both on track and in tire life. And then, of course, you got Sunboy back there in 4th place as well. The remainder of the top 5, well, they have time penalties, so they are not going to be in contention for this win. And we are green, green, green. Ginger Tiger gets a fantastic start over Tinnis. It's going to be 2 laps to go.
2 laps to go. Oh, there's a spin. There's a spin. Nigel Cash has spun at the last corner. He's dropped all the way down to the back of the grid. So I don't know what actually happened from his perspective, but he was back of the grid in 15th place. But ARL is getting close to Stephen for 9th. But Tinnis needs to hold on. He needs to hold on. I know he'll drop out of the top 3, but it's still been a stellar, monumentous achievement from him. But Saab and Sunboy has got the chance to be in the top 3. Will be in the top 3. But Saab wants to try and make this move done on track, but cannot get close to Tinnis, Tim.
Yeah, and Ginger Tiger, he is taking full advantage of that and trying to put as much distance between him and Tinnis as he can. Meanwhile, we saw Sunboy have an opportunistic move on Saab that he was not able to complete, so he falls back in line in the 4th place. Keza right there behind him, trying to gain anything that they can in that Alpine car, of course, with a 3-second time penalty weighing over their head as well. They've got to think that they've got to find a way to move forward so that they don't lose as much positions as well.
Yeah, absolutely. This is what I mean. You can't lose concentration. What you do, you will lose out massively. And Keza. Come on! Come on! You want to make the move? You got to do it now! Into 4th place, but he cannot do it. He cannot do it yet. Sunboy is under a lot of pressure from Keza. Oh, coming to the bridge section now. Saab, I don't know what's happened, but Saab cannot catch up to Tinnis. If Tinnis... Oh my days, what's going to happen? Let me just have a look at the gap. Of the leader. So at the moment, oh my God, Tinnis could be within the top 3 if it stays like this, Tim.
And you know, for that matter, Malc, if Ginger Tiger made a mistake, picked up a 3-second time penalty, that would automatically bring Tennis in contention for this win. It's the last lap of this race, and Tennis, knowing that victory is a long shot, but technically in sight, is going to try everything that he can to get around Ginger Tiger. He knows he might not win the race, but all the same, he can hold on to this podium, as now we see Tao retiring one lap early from his final race in the Invictus Racing League. We wish him well. We hope he comes back whenever he can. But to decide this race, it is a Haas versus a Mercedes. Tennis, 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings hanging over his head. Without that, you have to wonder, would he maybe, just maybe, be able to challenge Ginger Tiger for this win? 15 laps on Ginger Tiger's tires, 23 laps on Tennis's tires. But those hard tires are really helping that Mercedes driver at the moment at least keep pace with Ginger Tiger. All the same, no time penalties belonging to the driver in first place, and as long as he can get through one more sector of this racetrack cleanly and keeping it within the lines, it will stay that way, and he will be standing on the top spot. He was not the fastest qualifier, but he will be your fastest racer at the end of the day, and it's going to be his second win of the season. He has held off Tennis. He has held off all of his competitors. He's already celebrating before he gets to the line, and out of the final corner, it's going to be Ginger Tiger winning the Singapore Grand Prix. Tennis finishing in second on track, holds on to P3, but only just, with Sab passing him thanks to the time penalty. Sunboy in P4. Rustman in 5th, Smoke in 6th, Melanade in 7th, Keza in 8th, 9th is O Steve in 10th is Daryl with an ARL in 11th, 12th is going to be Nitro Gash with Joe Hamster in 13th. Oh no, it's not going to be Joe Hamster in 13th. He spins around in the final corner, so it's going to be Tadeli in 13th and Joe Hamster in the 14th position.
What a mad race.
A mad race indeed, Malkin. Sadly for Joe Hamster, he comes in at the very end. And sadly, I am a little bit short for time, Malc, so I will not be able to do the interviews with the top 3 today. But congratulations to Ginger Tiger on picking up his second win of the season. It was a safety car plagued race, but at the end, a very well driven race by the Haas driver.
Okay, no worries. But yeah, mad scenes to be fair, and well done to the drivers itself. Well done to Ginger Tiger, unbelievable drive. Well done to Sab for another podium again, and well done to Tinnis. Out of nowhere, he was very lucky in the last few laps. And Sam Towers just messaged saying, just couldn't pick it up tonight. I'll be back on Wednesday night, but it's goodbye to IRL RP for now. No worries, mate. No worries. I hope you have a good time. Well, I hope everything goes okay. And we'll have to wait and see how everything goes from that perspective. But, so Tim, I'll let you do the honours for the final time of asking of tonight's race itself.
Yes, well, Malc, I made a bit of a mistake and clicked off of the screen. So, sadly, we do not have a rundown for the results. Thankfully, though, we will be able to refer back to the stream for your classifications. But since I am running short on time, I am going to have to end the stream here. But thank you all so much for those of you who watched, and thank you to everyone who raced with us, and congratulations to our top 3. This has been the Invictus Racing League's PlayStation Performance League, brought to you in partnership with GridFinder.com. And until next time, have fun and goodbye.
See you later, guys. Take care.